Hi guys, me Darkman here. So, recently I held a poll on my channel asking my subscribers which video they'd like me to make next. The result was almost unanimous. 85% asked me to make the Joji video you're about to watch now. This was perhaps unsurprising, given that a lot of my recent subscribers are here from a few Joji and Cold Ones videos I uploaded recently. But regardless, I aim to please, and it's time to give the viewers what they want. So, let's get right into it. Now, when it comes to talking about anything Joji related, the fact of the matter is that pretty much everything there is to say about the guy has already been talked about to death, thousands of times over. Almost every commentary channel on YouTube has made videos about Filthy Frank and the golden era of YouTube, the exodus of Filthy Frank and his transition into Joji, and even the more obscure topics like Joji's old YouTube channels. However, the topic we're going to be talking about today has, to my knowledge, never been covered in a YouTube video, nor anywhere else. I couldn't even find any Reddit threads talking about it. So, hopefully, this video will be one of the few videos on Joji to cover something new, rather than just rehashing an old topic. Anyway, with all that being said, let's begin. Our story begins back in 2014. At this point in time, Filthy Frank's YouTube channel, which was still the Disaster music channel at the time, had already become extremely successful and was only growing further. It had over 300,000 subscribers, and the recent Harlem Shake craze had just brought a lot of attention to the channel. This was even well before Frank had collaborated with other YouTubers such as Max Mofo, iDubbbz and H3H3 Productions. However, what's important to note is that, despite Frank's rise in popularity, the individual behind the Filthy Frank character was completely unknown at this time. There was no Filthy Frank and Joji. Filthy Frank was all that the public saw, and the creator's personal life was to remain shrouded in mystery. Or so it was to be, at least, for a short while. On the 3rd of May 2014, a 12-minute video would be uploaded to the Disaster Music channel, entitled Filthy Frank Exposes Himself. In this now infamous video, Joji reveals himself as the creator of the Filthy Frank character. He explains that the main reason he felt the need to reveal himself was because he had been suffering from a medical condition that was affecting his ability to work on the show, and also because fans failed to realise that behind the Filthy Frank character, Joji was a 20-year-old college student who had a lot of other commitments, including other jobs. In addition to the reveal, in this video, Joji also announced a few projects he had been working on. Firstly, he announced that he would be creating vlogs. We'll talk about this more shortly. He also announced that he would be creating a Filthy Frank cartoon series with some of his friends. However, as we now know in hindsight, this show would never materialise, and in fact, was almost never mentioned again outside of this video. Following this, Joji would also announce 2 music albums, a Pink Guy album and a Joji album. The first album was the eponymous Pink Guy, which would also be Joji's first ever released album. The second album, which was only ever referred to as the Joji album in this video, appears to have been a reference to the Chloe Burbank album. This album has a colourful history and honestly is probably a full topic for another video, but long story short, this album was never released, although 2 songs from the album, You Suck Charlie and Tom, were published online. Finally, Joji would announce the release of some Filthy Frank merch. He would finish up the video by saying that the Filthy Frank show would not be ending. Now, at this point, the logical thing to talk about here would be the fan reaction to this video. However, while I really want to talk about this, before I can do that, we first need to examine the other content that Joji uploaded around this time, because it is critical to understanding the fan reaction to this video. I promise we'll come back to this by the end of the video. Now, on almost the exact same day as this exposed video was uploaded, Joji would create 2 new YouTube channels, one called Anna Gold and the other called Joji Vlogs. While we'll talk about the former channel later in this video, the latter channel, Joji Vlogs, was obviously meant to be the avenue through which Joji would upload the vlogs he mentioned in his reveal video. About 2 weeks after creating the channel, the first vlog would be uploaded. In this video, Joji would film a day in his life in New York, hanging with friends, going to college, and walking through the city streets. While obviously quite a step down in terms of the comedy and craziness in his usual Filthy Frank material, Joji still jokes around in the video, memeing on people in the streets, and even impersonating your average YouTuber.
Hey guys, today we're doing this and that, blah blah blah, subscribe to this channel and that channel, and then give Instagram a like, and go on Facebook, like the Facebook page, like the Twitter page, youtube.com/.
The fans loved this video, as it was their first real glimpse into the man behind Filthy Frank. The response was overwhelmingly positive, and fans wanted more just like it. However, there was an issue. According to Joji, the purpose of the channel wasn't simply to be another Filthy Frank channel. He didn't want this channel to just be him doing Filthy Frank stuff, but just out of character. He wanted it to be a glimpse into his own actual life. On May 20th, 2014, Joji would upload the second episode of Joji Vlogs and make clear his intentions with the channel going forward.
Hey guys, upon reviewing my own content in the first vlog, I came to realize that this really isn't an accurate representation of how I actually live. I wanted the first vlog to, stand out, so naturally I released footage that the vast majority would like to see, aka pretty much anything that Frank would film and laugh at. But then I realized that this channel really has nothing to do with Filthy Frank or anything, and I would like to keep it that way, so I do not go around filming old people. Actually, it was me trying to please everyone yet again, as usual. This channel is really just for myself, so if it bores you, I'm terribly sorry. My life is pretty boring. So for Filthy Frank and all the others, please go back to the other channels. That's if you're looking for that sort of content. So if you're looking for that sort of content, this really isn't the place. This is just a chill place where I work on music and show some behind the scenes and just stuff that I do for fun. And so it's really not that exciting. So yeah, thank you for being so understanding. I love you guys. This guy thinks I'm really weird. I'm just talking to a fucking field.
The rest of the second episode was markedly different from the first video. Firstly, this video was filmed in Japan as opposed to New York. Secondly, while it still contained Filthy Frank references, and even showed Joji hanging out with some of the actors of characters from the Filthy Frank universe, it was considerably toned down and more documentary than comedy. On the same day this vlog was uploaded, Joji would post to the Filthy Frank Facebook page as himself, one of only 2 occasions where he would do this. He wrote, "I'm glad you all enjoy the vlogs. They aren't really vlogs, I just compile what I find interesting and funny. I've never seen a damn vlog in my life, so I wouldn't know. Joji Vlogs has nothing to do with Filthy Frank, so you can look forward to new Filthy Frank videos on the main channels. College students, enjoy the break. High schoolers, hang in there. Workers, keep hustling. Joji." Joji was making it very clear to his fans that he wanted to upload whatever he wanted to the Joji Vlogs page, without the pressure of them expecting it to be just more Filthy Frank content. And, as if the second vlog intro and the Facebook post weren't enough, he would change the channel description of the Joji Vlogs channel to a very bold and clear statement. It's to please me, not you. Joji would continue to upload 8 more Joji Vlogs videos over the course of 2014 for a total of 10 vlogs. In each episode, all of which were also filmed in Japan, except for the very last, he'd demo his new Joji music, hang out with his friends, show off his cooking skills, and really just give us a glimpse into his life outside of the Filthy Frank character. The 10th and final episode of Joji Vlogs would be uploaded on the 23rd of September 2014. The episode, unlike the previous 8, was set back in New York, as the first one was. In this episode, we see Joji celebrating his 21st birthday with his friends.
Happy birthday, Joji! I hate you all!
After the party section, the video cuts to what Joji has labelled Old Japan footage, and Joji would provide this commentary.
I'm getting a lot of messages and comments saying, hey, like the views for Joji vlogs have been going down. I'm like, yeah, I know. Because I haven't been sharing them on Filthy Frank related social media, like the Facebook group, stuff like that. You know, because I'm trying to separate it. You know, I'm not gonna push it onto people who aren't necessarily. I mean, like, I make these vlogs for just for my personal, like, it's like a journal. Like, people think I'm trying to be funny on these vlogs, but like I'm not. Like, it really doesn't matter. Like, I'm not trying to be funny. Like, I'm not trying to like please anyone on these vlogs. Like, I appreciate the compliments, but it really doesn't, like, that's not what it's about, you know. Like, I'm not trying to blow up Joji vlogs, you know. Like, it's just like a little kind of personal thing that I'm choosing to share with you guys.
Joji again was reiterating his desire to keep a distinction between Joji vlogs and Filthy Frank. However, these would be the final comments Joji would make on the Joji vlogs channel, as after this video, the channel would never be uploaded to again. Meanwhile, however, Joji had been very active on the Filthy Frank channel. 2014 was a big year for Filthy Frank. Joji would upload some of his most notable videos this year, including Weeaboos,
ようこそ、フィルシー・フランクショーへ。
and many of his infamous Japanese 101 videos.
420 blaze it to faggot!
However, we'd also get a significant glimpse into Joji's other projects too. On May 24th, 2014, Joji would upload the Pink Eye album, his first ever released album, onto the channel. It was wildly popular, and Joji would even go on to make music videos for some of the songs.
Kill yourself. The fuck? Please kill yourself.
In addition to this album reveal, Joji would also go on to upload 3 more videos on the Filthy Frank show that feature himself as a character. Chin Chin is not pleased.
You gotta do the Chin Chin prayer!
Yeah. I'm gonna tell them, okay?
Pink Eye album release,
Oh, hey, you guys made it!
Man, shut the fuck up!
and How to Win a Girl's Heart.
Oh, if you want to win a girl's heart over, or whatever the fuck you call it, why don't you just, I don't know, be yourself?
In these videos, Joji simply acts in the videos as another character, alongside Frank, Pink Guy, and the other in-universe characters. Generally, he would talk about projects that would be coming up, such as future Filthy Frank videos, and of course, the aforementioned albums. Fans were happy to accept the character, and would even update the unofficial Filthy Frank Wiki to include him in the character lineup. This wiki, and the addition of the Joji character to it, will become important later in this video, as it is the main topic of this video after all. But this is yet another topic we'll have to put on hold for now, as we still have a few topics we need to cover first. You will recall that on the same day Joji created the Joji Vlogs channel, he also created a channel called Anna Gold. While he wouldn't upload on this channel until much later, Joji would eventually post 2 songs to the channel, as well as to his SoundCloud account. These songs were You Suck Charlie and Tom. These songs were arguably the first songs Joji would ever upload under the Joji name. These songs were extremely well received, so much so that, even as recently as 2022, Joji still sings You Suck Charlie at live shows on occasion, and the whole crowd will sing along. Now, the SoundCloud account that Joji uploaded these songs to wasn't actually a new account. He had previously used it to upload some early beats he had been messing around with, as well as some Filthy Frank songs such as Ramen King. However, prior to uploading You Suck Charlie and Tom to the account, he had posted a rather ominous recording, named only in Japanese, that roughly translates to attention or notice, before deleting this and all other songs on the account to make way for these new songs. The Notice upload, which only survives today through a few obscure YouTube re-uploads, consisted of a text-to-speech voice giving a warning to followers of the account.
This is no longer an account for comedy. It never was. It has become an account that is completely irrelevant to past topics. This account will change. You will not find what you are looking for here, as the account will undergo construction. Until then, goodbye. If you are not ready to take this seriously, with all due respect, please leave. Thank you.
Despite this unusual warning, however, Joji's fans did take his new music seriously. Some fans were so obsessed with this so-called Joji music that they would constantly ask him for more. This would result in him addressing these fans, which actually occurred in the ending call-out of a Pink Guy song called Rice Balls.
Oh, we want real music. We want real music. We want Joji music.
Bro, I didn't even know real and fake music existed. I mean, I think it's like your fault for putting that shit into categories. Like, music is music. If you don't think this is real music, that's your fucking problem. Like, who says I can't drop shit while making a culinary funny video at the same time? You know? Whatever, man. It's your boy Pink Guy, Pink Omega, whatever the fuck you wanna call me. I don't give a fuck. Coming at you again. Still doing that wacky, crazy shit, bro. Ain't nothing changed. So, see you next time.
Anyway, let's recap. By late 2014, Joji had done all of the following outside of his Filthy Frank persona, and all in that 1 year. He had introduced himself in a reveal video, he had appeared in 3 more videos on the Filthy Frank channel, he had started the Joji Vlogs channel, and he had started releasing music, first as Pink Guy, but eventually under the Joji name too. We know that, for 3 out of the 4 of these cases of Joji revealing himself to his audience, the fan reaction was extremely positive. For now, I'm still going to leave the fan reaction to Joji's initial reveal as a bit of a mystery. As I said, we'll cover this before the end of the video. But the important thing to note for now is that everything seemed to be going well for Joji, and his fans seem to be enjoying all forms of his content, whether they were Filthy Frank videos, vlogs, or music. So what happened next, then, may surprise you. At some point in late 2014, Joji would private all 10 of the Joji Vlogs episodes. To this day, the channel still exists, but with no visible videos. In addition to this, Joji would also private all 4 videos on the Filthy Frank channel, which included himself as a character, including the initial Filthy Frank exposes himself video. This was a stark turn for Joji, who up until this point had appeared, at least publicly, to have no issue revealing parts of his personal life to his fans. Something had obviously changed in Joji's mindset, but it wasn't immediately clear what that was. It would not be until May 2016, over a year and a half later, where Joji would even address the privatization of the Joji Vlogs videos. On a stream with Max Mofo, Anything for Views, and iDubbbz, Joji would say the following.
Hey Max.
Yeah.
Can I see a lot of Joji Vlogs comments, so can I just address the Joji Vlogs thing and clear things up?
You can address the Joji Vlogs in the room, dude.
Yeah. I love doing Joji Vlogs, but I just had no time, so unfortunately I did not, I could not continue with it, so I'm sorry. That's it.
Come on, dude. Why'd you delete them then? You really started to get my fucking nerves, George.
Oh, no, they're still up. Someone re-uploaded them. They're up there.
Yeah, it's just you don't want to, you know. Same reason I delete my gaming stuff, man. It's like it's not really the channel for that sort of thing for me, you know. I feel you. I feel you.
It's not my thing. I don't get joy in. I mean, well, it was fun. But,
yeah, like
you know.
you try. Yeah, like I mean, you tried it out.
Yeah, and I'm too busy, man. I'm doing so much.
Yeah, no, that's like what Ian was saying with his gaming channel. Like when you want to dedicate time to do something.
No, I took the peg off. Sorry.
Fucking doing what you want to do, you can't do it. See, like the collection channel. I ain't doing that anymore because I can't run 5 channels. Yeah, we got.
Can't run one channel.
Yo, shut the fuck up.
There was obviously some amount of truth to what Joji was saying. There was no doubt he was extremely busy running his YouTube channels, producing his music, and trying to live life as a college student. However, Max's question asking why he deleted the videos almost appeared to catch him off guard. His response was that it wasn't his thing, and that he didn't get any joy out of it. However, he then immediately followed this by saying that making the vlogs was fun. And going back to his channel description, it's to please me, not you. If he wasn't doing it for the fans, and now he's saying he wasn't getting any joy out of doing it himself, why would he even make them at all? And even so, even if it was now true that making vlogs wasn't his thing, that really doesn't explain the deletion of all the videos, especially at the same time as his 4 Joji videos on the Filthy Frank channel. It seemed pretty clear that something had caused Joji to change his mind about revealing himself to his audience. He appeared to be removing these videos in an attempt to partially undo his reveal. But the real question was why? The fan reactions to all of his reveals seemed to be positive, so that didn't seem to be the reason. There must have been something else. Well, it turns out that there was. I'm about to show you some evidence for the theory I'm about to put forward. Now, this evidence is somewhat hard to come by and hasn't been seen by very many people. After all, when Joji decided to stop revealing details about his life in late 2014, he barely said anything about the situation after that point. However, there were a few obscure places where Joji did talk about how he felt about the whole ordeal. And today, we're going to take a look at what might have caused Joji to become a much more reclusive public figure in 2014. Our first hint occurs in December of 2014, where a user on Twitter would ask Filthy Frank about the George/Joji name he mentioned in the reveal video early that year. Joji would respond, saying that it was a fake name. Obviously, looking back at this tweet now, we know that this name was indeed correct. Joji was simply not being truthful here. So this tweet is perhaps one of the first clear examples we have that shows Joji had changed his mind about being a public figure and did not want his real name linked with the Filthy Frank character in any way. However, this would be confirmed in much stronger terms over on the Filthy Frank Wiki. The Filthy Frank Wiki is an unofficial website that meticulously documents all things related to the Filthy Frank universe, including cataloguing every single episode, trying to make sense of the lore, and documenting every single character in the series. This last aspect, however, is what's relevant for us. You'll recall that Joji had inserted himself into 4 episodes of the Filthy Frank show. As a result, that effectively made him a character in the Filthy Frank universe. That meant that, in the eyes of his fans, Joji himself now needed an article on the Filthy Frank Wiki. This article was indeed created on the 27th of May, 2014, less than a month after the initial reveal episode was uploaded. However, if you try to find this page on the wiki today, instead of a thorough backstory on the Joji character, you will instead find nothing on his page, except this rather unusual image. This image rather ominously claims that Joji is no longer a supported character on the Filthy Frank show, and in the corner says RIP 2014 to 2014, and he was sacrificed to Chin Chin by his autistic fan base. So the question is, what's going on here? Why is Joji no longer a supported character, whatever that means? Well, you might not be aware, but on any wiki, a page also has a corresponding history page and a talk page. By looking at both of these sources, we are able to work out what happened here. And in these pages, we find something very interesting. We find Joji himself. On December 4th, 2014, Joji himself, posting as the user JojiReal, would post a comment on the talk page of the Joji article. He would write the following: "Hey guys, Joji here. I asked the admin a few months ago to take anything unrelated to the characters down. I'd appreciate it if you guys took this down. Thank you so much." Now, we can actually look at what the page looked like at the time Joji made this comment. There's nothing too revealing or even notable on this page, except a completely outrageous claim that Joji has Parkinson's disease which gives him seizures due to stress. Joji had mentioned a medical condition which gave him seizures due to stress in his initial reveal video, but absolutely nowhere had Joji said it was Parkinson's. Now, it would turn out that this was in fact the section of the page that had upset Joji, as 3 minutes after his initial comment, he would also write on the talk page of the site's admin, a person named Raniero R. He would write the following: "Hi Raniero, it's me again, sorry to bother you. I noticed that there is still an article about me on the page. I would like everything unrelated to the characters taken down if that's not too much to ask for. Thank you so much." 5 minutes later, he would add, "Also, saying that I have Parkinson's disease is slanderous and quite rude in my opinion. I want you guys to enjoy the characters and stuff, but if you guys are going to keep writing bad stuff about my personal life online, then I will ask for this whole site to be taken down. Please leave me, as the creator, out of this. Thank you so much." Now, this is pretty clear evidence that Joji was very uncomfortable with the information on this page and wanted it gone, so much so that he was now threatening to take down the wiki, the creation of some of his most dedicated fans. As Joji had said, he didn't mind if the fans kept it all about the characters, but if they couldn't prevent information about his personal life being included as well, he would not hesitate to shut the whole thing down. Then, only 9 minutes after his very first comment, Joji decided that he would take things into his own hands and completely wiped the page himself, leaving a comment on his edit saying, "Please take anything related to my personal life down. Thank you." At this point, fans on the wiki began to wonder what was going on and how to handle the situation. One user would write, "Question about Joji. Since Joji basically erased every video with him in it and then declared he was not part of the Filthy Frank show anymore, should we not include him in the wiki pages?" Raniero, the admin, would reply, saying, "Just because Joji wants to be an f***, we should at least keep the page for documentation purposes." Joji himself would then reply, saying, "Hi guys, Joji here again. Can you please leave me out of this? Sorry for being an f***." Now, personally, I think this is one of the most hilarious interactions I've ever seen online, not just because Joji is apologising after being called an F-slur, but because, if it wasn't clear, the person calling Joji the F-slur is the admin of the website. Not only that, but the admin is saying that he wants to keep the page of the person he just called this name up for documentation purposes. You cannot make this stuff up, and it really shows how invasive his fan base was at this time. Joji would then also take aim at another user whose initial comment is unfortunately lost by saying, "Would you like personal information about you put on blast by people you don't know on the internet? If you do, that's fine. I just like my privacy. Thank you." After this, Joji would not return to the website for another 19 days. On the 24th of December 2014, Joji would reply to another now deleted comment, this time by the site's admin. He would say the following: "Hi Raniero, in that case, can we just delete the site? Sorry for the bad news. We are working on an actual Filthy Frank website with accurate information regarding the characters. If people complain, you can put the blame on me and explain that there's an actual website in the works. Sorry, and thank you so much for cooperating. I genuinely did enjoy reading the character wikis, and I'm grateful for all the hard work you guys put into this." Now, there's a lot to unpack in this comment. Firstly, it seems that this is a demand. Previously, Joji had simply said that he may ask them to take the website down if the posting of personal information continued. However, now he was saying, "Can we just delete this site? Sorry for the bad news." And "I genuinely did enjoy reading the character wikis." It was clear that, from his perspective, he was seriously expecting the website to be removed as a result of this comment. Obviously, looking back in hindsight, we now know that this never actually happened. We also see that Joji mentions an official website being worked on that will document the characters in the Filthy Frank universe. Now, to my knowledge, this is the only time that Joji ever mentioned this website. There are no recorded tweets or mentions in his videos about this supposed site, which as we know, obviously never got created. Whether this site was simply a bluff to get them to take things down, or something that was actually planned, we'll never know. But it's interesting to consider that this might have been something Joji was actually working on. Finally, we can see that, despite the harsh comments, Joji respected and maybe even appreciated the work that some of his fans were doing to document his show. The comment, "I genuinely did enjoy reading the character wikis and I'm grateful for all the hard work you guys put into this," is somewhat wholesome, especially considering the serious nature of Joji's demands. Joji even states that he's willing to take the blame for any fans who would get angry at the website's deletion. Joji's final post on the wiki would also occur that day, 1 minute later. He would reply to Raniero again, presumably Raniero's reply to his previous post. It's hard to know because all the comments he's replying to are deleted. He simply said, "You're awesome." Unfortunately, despite my best efforts to find archives of the comments he was replying to, I couldn't find them and believe them to be lost. We can, however, speculate. Obviously, Raniero didn't agree to take the wiki down, but he very likely promised Joji that he would be very careful in ensuring the page would not be restored. This was obviously enough to satisfy Joji, who left this "You're awesome" comment in reply to the same individual who only weeks earlier had called him a f***. After this, Joji would never return to the wiki again. Now that we have a better picture of Joji's thoughts around the sharing of his personal information, it's finally time to revisit the initial Filthy Frank Exposes Himself video and talk about the fan reaction to this video. If you ask almost any Filthy Frank fan why Joji took this video down, they'll almost all tell you the same thing. The fans reacted badly to it and he had to take it down. They liked the edgy Filthy Frank character, but they didn't like this weird guy called Joji who thought he could simply inject himself into the series. However, the thing is, while maybe a few fans felt that way, that was actually not the general consensus at all, and was not the reason Joji took the videos down. Remember, the fan reaction to the other Joji reveals that took place in the same year were positive. Do we really think that his initial reveal was then taken negatively? Of course it wasn't, and there's basically no evidence to suggest it was. The thing is, Joji's fans hadn't rejected him. The evidence that Joji's fans quickly documented his character into the wiki with no hesitation demonstrates his fans had no issues accepting Joji. It was Joji who appeared to have an issue with how his fans were accepting him. It's now time to finally figure out what's going on here. While researching this video, I found an old, now deleted Twitter thread Joji had made in March of 2015 on his Sushi Trash account, then less than a year old. In these tweets, Joji clearly explains the exact reason he took the Filthy Frank Exposes Himself video down. Unfortunately, perhaps because Joji's account was somewhat obscure at the time, most of his fans would not have seen this, and the fact that they are now deleted wouldn't help either. But these tweets clearly tell us why Joji had a change of heart, and it wasn't because his fans didn't like him, or reacted badly to Joji inserting himself into the show. The tweets read as follows. "Damn, people be re-uploading the exposed video all the time. Man, that shit's kinda disrespectful. I don't even look like that anymore. I was fresh out of the hospital, and I was not eating well, and I made a rash decision. It was a long time ago. I thought we all had an understanding. I keep running the show, you leave my life out of it. I don't really care about people being upset about the fourth wall or whatever. I'm just not a very public person, and it's not my thing. People kept badgering me about my life because they cared too much and I wasn't into that. Knew it instantly. Just leave me out of it, Plox. Thought I'd share while I still can. I'm not an arsehole, I just like being in control of my personal life, like any normal person. I really don't care if the vid is re-uploaded elsewhere, it's the internet. Just don't relate it to the show on YouTube because it ruins it for new fans. I have a good thing going on YouTube and I'm proud of it. Just give me my space and let me do me. What we see in these tweets is that it wasn't a negative fan reaction that spooked Joji. He even said he didn't care about the people who got upset over him breaking the fourth wall. Instead, it was a positive reaction that troubled him. A positive reaction that was a bit too positive. After the posting of the video, some of Joji's fans had begun to obsess about who he was, his health, and other personal aspects of his life. Joji didn't want this. As he says, "I keep running the show, you leave my life out of it." He felt as though revealing himself had caused him to lose control of the split between his personal and public life. And despite his attempts to undo this is the internet, and it was arguably too late to try and do that. This is further supported by this post Joji made to the Filthy Frank Facebook page on the same day the video was uploaded, the only other post he'd make on the page as Joji. Thank you everybody for the support. Don't worry about me too much. Let's continue with the show and have a good time, boss. Joji. This Facebook post and these tweets were a plea to his fans to try and respect his wishes that his personal life be kept private. Now, while I do have a lot of sympathy for what Joji went through, it was no doubt difficult for him to suddenly have millions of fans digging through your personal life and being powerless to do anything about it. Unfortunately, at this point, I have to state that I do believe a lot of Joji's problems around this time were self-inflicted. He does state that uploading the exposed video was a mistake, and something he regretted. However, he left the Joji videos on his Filthy Frank channel for over 6 months before removing them, while in the meantime continuing to upload multiple videos of himself on Joji Vlogs, a channel which he announced on his Filthy Frank social media pages. You can't really blame your fans for something you're claiming was an impulsive decision when you're the reason those fans even know who you are in the first place, and you keep posting material that links you to the Filthy Frank universe. I have no doubt that his fans were getting a little bit too much, but Joji had unfortunately created this problem himself, something I think he realised and deeply regretted. I sometimes think modern Joji fans unfairly critique the old Filthy Frank fans, calling them toxic and accusing them of pushing Joji away, when in fact Joji had no issue with his Filthy Frank fans in general, instead just having an issue with the overly obsessive fans, which these days unfortunately tends to be the modern Joji fans. It's not the old Filthy Frank fans who are taking hidden pictures of Joji as he tries to make his way through an airport and sharing it around Twitter. From everything I've read while researching this video, I feel that I can safely say that Joji has no issue with either his Joji fans or his Filthy Frank fans. His recent comments at some of his shows prove that.
Yo, I see y'all are people of culture, let's go.
Instead, all he wanted, then and now, is some privacy. That's all this really comes down to. While privacy is something that most of us take for granted, it's hard to imagine for someone who is now a megastar, a pop icon, selling out shows at Madison Square Gardens. Some people may ask why I even made this video about something that happened almost 10 years ago, and this is why. I think this incident has very much influenced Joji's current approach to his fans. Perhaps that is the reason why, to this day, Joji's social media accounts rarely post, and when they do, it's clearly just his management promoting his tours, not him posting directly. Joji hasn't even liked something on Twitter since October 2020, and this seems to correspond with when he stopped managing his accounts himself. For a while now, I've wondered why the video I uploaded of Joji joking about Filthy Frank at a concert got 300,000 views in 2 months, but then I realised the sad truth. Joji's fans joking around with him at a concert is now pretty much the only way they can interact with him anymore. And, given the story we just discussed, we now have the reason why. Joji currently enjoys an extremely successful career as, well, Joji, but as we all probably know, he retired the Filthy Frank character long ago in 2017, in part due to his health, but largely to pursue his music career. The very last video he uploaded to his channel, Francis of the Filth, was a thinly veiled goodbye, He didn't address his fans about his departure directly, but it was clear enough that they knew he wasn't coming back. In the video, Joji coupled this goodbye with one final gift to his fans, a book written by himself that would summarise much of the Filthy Frank lore that had been revealed throughout the series. I wonder now, was this the final incarnation of the lore website that Joji had mentioned in his comment on the Filthy Frank Wiki? Regardless, the book contains a story that is, well, all over the place to be honest, but that's besides the point. For me, perhaps the most interesting part of the book is not found within the story itself, but rather on the first few pages, right as you open the book. On page 3, we read some words that summarise this video better than I ever could. This book is about a character. It has no relation to the author. Anyway, I hope this video has been interesting to you, and whether you're a Filthy Frank fan, a Joji fan, both or neither, I hope you've learnt something new in this video. I really enjoy making these videos, but as I'm sure you can appreciate, they take a lot of time, which is something I unfortunately don't have a lot of lately. However, if I manage to hit 1,000 subscribers, YouTube will allow me to join their partner program, which will allow me to spend more time making these videos for you all. So, if you've enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more like this, I'd really appreciate your subscription, as it would help me greatly to produce more videos. This has been NB Duckman. Thank you so much for watching.
Oh manna, tu sali toi.